very scary.
Yeah. Getting under control.
Some of them. And there's actually snow the other day, so Amarillo is the biggest city. The fire was supposed to start out in the snow. But the biggest one is still going. Yeah. Yeah. So my hometown is further north. Thankfully, but the winds are coming from the north right now, so it's not going that way.
Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to our multi-platform worship service. I am Shay Dively, your intern minister, and I use the pronouns she, her. And it is my honor to be co-leading our service today together with Reverend McKinley Sims, our settled minister, Jane Holting, our music minister emerita, who will be leading us today, and the Restoration Singers. I'm just going to breathe in the bells. And of course, always a big thank you to Mike Foy for running our AV tech. A few small announcements before we begin. Please silence any cell phones that you might have on you. I know people who have more than one, that's why I made it plural, so that we may all be as present as possible in this space together. Restrooms, if this is your first time here, are located in the rear of the sanctuary. You can either take the staircase to the right or the lift that's to the left, and there will be an usher to help you if you have any questions about where to go. We are streaming live, and if you are joining us online, you can choose to toggle on the closed captions by clicking the CC button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Childcare is available for infants and toddlers, and older children are invited to attend the religious exploration group following the Story for All Ages time. Parents and guardians can pick up their kiddos and little ones upstairs after the service. Let's take a breath together. Grateful that yesterday's rain happened, grateful for the sunshine today. This is a UU congregation, which means we are people of many differences, different faith traditions, different racial identities, different gender expressions, and different ways of moving in and showing up in the world. And we are a people of togetherness who make covenant promises to be together and to act with love for transformation, liberation, and healing. This is a historically universalist sanctuary, which means that we welcome all who in turn welcome all in the spirit of love and wholeness. And we are made more whole by you being with us today. We've been waiting for you to bring all of your beautiful self here, and we honor this by trying to live up to the mission of this congregation. Building UU Mount Airy into a beloved community by embracing all souls and nurturing wholeness. May this be the place where you come to be your whole self. May this loving community help you speak your doubts and welcome your questions. In this space, may you find transformation, liberation, and healing. May you leave this place changed for the better, and may you change this place, leaving it better. That these intentions be guiding lights for us this morning. Today's service is about Article 2, the value of transformation. These words come from the proposed revision of the UUA bylaws and include new inspirational language. So today we're talking about one of the 7 proposed values, transformation. As Unitarian Universalists, we covenant to support and assist one another in our ministries. We draw upon our heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. Love is the power that holds us together, and it is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. Inseparable from one another, these shared values include transformation. We adapt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian and Universalist heritages, never complete and never perfect. In UU congregations, we light a chalice to celebrate our coming together in love, to mark the sacred space and time of our community and invite the Spirit into our lives. We invite you to light a candle wherever you are today. Please read along with me if you feel moved to do so as we light our chalice with words by Betts Weinecke. May this flame, symbol of transformation since time began, fire our curiosity, strengthen our wills, and sustain our courage as we seek what is good within and around us. Our opening hymns this morning, and I did say hymns, there are two. The first is 1058, Be Hours of Religion, and we invite you to rise and bow your spirit as we sing together. And our second hymn, which will be led and guided by the choir, and Jane, will be Building Bridges. Let us sing together.
The first one, and I'd like to ask everyone to please just read the words of the first song called Be Hours of Religion. The text is by Theodore Parker, one of our ancestors, and the music is by Tom Benjamin, who was the music director in the Baltimore Church for quite a long time. Let's just speak the words, and then I'll play it through once, and then we'll all sing it together the last time. And be ours a religion which like sunshine goes everywhere. Its temple all space, its shrine the good heart, its creed all truth. If we can turn to 123 or see what's on the screen, Building Bridges is a song from the Greenham Commons, the Women of Greenham Commons Peace Occupation in England in 1983. And it's a round, so we'll sing it through once, and then you get to pick group one, raise your hand. If you want to be in that group, just follow those voices. If you want to be in the second part of the round, follow these voices, the people with their hands up. That's group two. And group three. So pick your poison. Pick your leader.
And friends, we don't have the lyrics up on the screen, so we have them in the hymnals for those who can read that. The words are, building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, siblings, sisters, brothers, cousins, we can make such sweet harmony.
1, 0, 2, 3, and we'll all sing it together. Let's sing it. We'll sing it 2 times together, and then we'll divide into 1, 2, and 3 in the round. And sing it twice.
Thank you, friends. As we move deeper into our service today, we're talking about transformation and we're talking about conflict. So you might feel some of conflict today, and hopefully you feel some transformation by the end of the service, but your mileage may vary. As we move into that part of the service, we invite us to share some of our vulnerabilities. And we're going to start with a ritual that we call Joys and Sorrows. If this is your first time with us, you're welcome to participate however you would like. If you would like to come up by this side aisle and grab a stone, either from the basket at the rear or here at the front, and take a second to check in with yourself. Ask, what am I holding today? What am I feeling, experiencing? What do I need to let go of or let down? Or what do I need help in holding? And drop it into the bowl of water that symbolizes our community. As the rocks nestle together, so we hold one another through all of what it is to be human. I invite you to share something verbally if you are so moved, a deep feeling that you are having, something you want to let the rest of the congregation know. Please be mindful that we are streaming to the internet. It is not just us here in the sanctuary. And for those of us who are online, if you would like to share something in the Zoom chat or in the comment section, please do so and let us know if you would like to lift that up out loud here in the sanctuary. We'll listen to some meditative music, and then we will gather for a time of prayer and reflection afterwards. If you would just like to remain in your pew, that's absolutely fine. We welcome all kinds of participation. Come, whoever you are. The table of joys and sorrows is open.
Hi, my name is Gary. Some of you know me. I haven't been here in a while. Some of you guys know that I had surgery in July and recently got informed that I may be back in the battle soon. So asking for prayers and good thoughts. And it's also really just nice to be back and see all your faces.
Hello, my name is Annie, and I would like to send out love and prayers to Suzanne Weltman.
I'm the Reverend David Doubledam, and I have a joy to share, which some of you already know. On Tuesday, I became a board-certified chaplain. Thank you.
Good Good morning. My name is Anam. I just want to ask you to think, to keep in your thoughts, prayers, meditations. My friend Allison Amarnik, she went into hospice care on earlier this week on Monday, and by Friday she had left us. She fought cervical cancer over the course of the past 7 years, and because of COVID and things like that, I hadn't been able to see her in quite some time, but we had a very, sibling relationship. She always called me Nami, her big brother. So.
Hi, I'm Linda. I would like to send love and prayers to Suzanne, to Kathy Baxter, and to Holly Ferris. And I would also like to share a joy, which is that the book I've been working on with Reggie Harris is very soon going to be available for pre-order, and the publication date is April 16, and that is the day books will actually ship. But possibly by the end of this week, you might be able to pre-order it.
I'm Ann, and the 4 people I want prayers for probably don't want their names out wherever, but 4 people close to me. Prayers, please.
Good morning. Oh, I didn't know so many people were here. When you sit over there, you can't really see. I have 2 joys. That's why the big smile is this morning. One is I don't live that far, but I do live a little further away, but I can walk here, and I decided to walk here this morning. And I shared a moment with a young male that was kind of like staring as I was coming towards him, and he pointed, he said, "Look, there's an eagle right there on that." I was like, "What? Oh, okay." That was so nice. It was like he was so focused on that, and I just focused it with him. We shared that moment, and we smiled, and we went our separate ways. So I just wanted to say that. If you don't know, I'm still a Pew Fellow, just to let you know. That wasn't it, but I just needed to say that. The other thing is that what popped on my page this past week, that 7 years ago I did a play here for the first time called 57. And now a professional theater company is actually doing a stage reading of this play on March 11th. If you get a chance, come to my website, which is KarenSmithDrums.com, and you can see where it is. So thank you so much for allowing me to share my art. I just really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. Shay, would you add a few stones for the joys and sorrows not shared out loud, but held in the quiet of our hearts? I'm going to pray, and I invite you to join me however that word means for you. Be ours a religion which like sunshine goes everywhere, and may our prayers be like rain. Rain that falls on those people who do not have roofs over their heads. Rain that cleans all of that stuff that we feel ashamed of, and lets it run down our good and holy bodies to become part again of the good and holy earth. Rain like rain that falls on places like the Texas Panhandle. That falls on the people who run towards danger. In places where other people make danger for people who do not look like me, for people with different gender identities. And may that rain quench those fires. Fires that scorch the good and holy earth, and fires that scorch good and holy bodies through policies and hatred, through lack of medical care, and lack of pastoral care, lack of empathy. May our prayers be like rain that reminds us that there are cycles to all of this, and that our job is to do our parts of the cycle, not to put more violence or hatred into the system, but to put prayers and love that may be like rain, that fall fresh on the ground, that change people's minds and hearts, that quench the fires, so that from the ash something new may come. Until y'all means all. Amen. I'm glad you're here so we can sing. This is another kind of prayer. It's number 1037 in the Teal hymnal. It's called We Begin in Love. Today's service is about conflict and transformation, and I invite us to keep these words in our hearts. What we're going to do is, the song works, there's a refrain. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. And that's your part, with Jane helping on the piano. And then a voice, which is, I assume, my voice, reads a couple of verses that you'll see behind me, and then we all sing together. You don't need to speak the words along with me. I just want you to be able to see them on the screen. But if we would all sing together that refrain, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For remaining silent when a single voice would have made a difference, and for each time that our fears have made us rigid and inaccessible. For each time that we have struck out in anger without just cause, and for each time that our greed has blinded us to the needs of others. For the selfishness which sets us apart and alone, for falling short of the admonitions of the Spirit. For losing sight of our unity, for those and for so many acts, both evident and subtle, which have fueled the illusion of separateness, we sing for the last time. Thank you. Okay, let's transition and tell a story for all ages. If we do have any little ones who would like to come up and sit up here with me, I would love that. If you would like to stay with your parents and guardians, that would be fine as well. We're going to tell a little story, and then we're going to sing us off to our RE classes with Miss Louise and Jill and Lena. Hi. Hi, hi, hi. Okay, this is a story about two little kids, a brother and a sister. Some of you may know them. They're both very, very little. And the little boy is very tall for his age and gets very, very excited. He is so full of energy. He cannot wait to see his baby sister in the morning. And the first thing that he wants to do is go and give her a gentle kiss, which sometimes is not very gentle. Sometimes it's a little rough. And occasionally, he, instead of giving a gentle kiss, he headbutts his little sister. And she says, ouch, ah! And the little boy, he feels bad about this. And so what do we do when we feel bad? Sometimes we want to hide, right? Sometimes we don't want people to see us. And one of his favorite things to do is to do this, so that no one can see him. And it's in those moments that we all need to be reminded that we all make mistakes. And just because you make a mistake doesn't mean you are a mistake. So I say, what do we do when we make a mistake? We say sorry, and then we do something to make it better. So sometimes the little boy gets held by his daddy, and he wants to get out because he's so full of energy, and he wants to get down, and sometimes he hides his face. I said, what do we need to do? Or his daddy says, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? And this little boy will go to his baby sister and lean in and say, sorry. And I'll say, can we do anything to make it better? And he will lean in and give a very gentle kiss. Sometimes we make mistakes, and that doesn't mean we are mistakes. What we are called to do is to make amends, to say sorry, and then find some way to make it better. To find some way to make it better. That is what we call a transformation. A transformation from a conflict into love. We're going to keep that in mind as we sing you all off to your religious exploration class. We're going to sing a song. The lyrics are, as you leave this space, know that you belong. Know that you are not alone. Know that you are loved. Would you all sing with me as we sing our children off to class? As you leave this space, know that you belong. Know that you are not alone. Know that you are loved. As you leave this space, know that you belong. Know that you are not alone. Know that you are loved. Thank you. It's time for our choir to come up and lead us in a song with the wonderful Jane Holting.
So this really nice song that we're going to sing is called Minni Wachoni. Please forgive my Lakota, my ignorance really, about Lakota language, but that's the best we can do for today, unless some of you have some ideas about how that might go better. It means water is life. And yesterday on NPR, I heard a woman talking about life in the universe. And one of the things that has been learned is where there is life, there is water. So this song is written by Sarah Thompson when she came back from the Dakota Access Pipeline protests, a few years ago. And what she heard was the sound. She was walking away and she heard the sound of a bird singing, and it said, "Be a lark from the meadow, be a lark from the meadow." So that stuck with her, and she wrote this song. There is one part that I'm going to sing that Mitakuye Oyasin, which means our relations. We be in relationship to our relations, and that doesn't mean just our blood relatives, but it means it means the sky and the earth and the buffalo and all the birds and all the fish, and that we are all in relationship with all of nature. And so it is wise to be to invoke these relationships. So the words are, all my relations come, every nation come. All my relations under the sun, we are one.
Thank you so much for that blessing, and thank you to everyone for your presence and being. Our reading today is a poem entitled The Strongest Rope, and it's by Heather Hackett. I'm not afraid anymore. It almost seems silly that I was before, but I don't judge my past selves. What they did was always intended well. Now that I know better, I move differently. This is the key to growth, to living, to be ready to evolve. Don't get stuck where you are. Just because you were there doesn't mean you have to stay. It's good to move on and change. The world around us does that every day. So why should we stay the same? Get out of your own way. Accept the grief. Move through the pain. You deserve the sunniest of days. And until you are ready, the light will wait. The voyage is one we must appreciate. No step is ever taken in vain. We need every part of the journey. To truly transform, we mustn't hurry. It may be tough, but try not to worry. Remember, this too belongs. Write a poem or sing a song. Share your story with everyone. When we connect with others, it makes us strong. None of us are in this alone. Collectively, our trajectory is what guides the world. We weave together the strongest rope, pulling everything around us toward love and hope. Amen.
Friends, can we take a breath together? We dive once again into the very inspiring and interesting world of nonprofit bylaws today. If you have not been with us for a little bit, if this is your first time here, let me give you a little bit of an introduction. So we are part of the Unitarian Universalist Association. That denomination has bylaws. In the bylaws, in the section called Article 2, currently where listed are 7 guiding principles and a list of sources of inspiration, amongst other things. That is being rewritten in this very long process that's being voted on at big assemblies and things to have updated language. And the updated language includes these 7 guiding values. And we've been spending a service each month exploring these different guiding values. One of those guiding values proposed is transformation. So that's what we're talking about today. So if you hear me talk about Article 2, that refers to the bylaws, we're really talking about spiritual values, one of which is transformation. What does that mean to us? How do we engage with that? I was at the UUA headquarters in Boston on 24 Farnsworth Street, up on the 3rd floor for the first year ministers seminar, almost 6 years ago now. My beloved Texas Tech Red Raiders were playing in the national championship game of the men's college basketball tournament. I gathered all the first ministers to come with me to a bar, and they all became Texas Tech fans. I taught them the fight song and the alma mater and all kinds of things. It was fabulous. I will always remember that. And what I will also always remember is one of the first exercises we did as a group was to go around as an icebreaker and say, what kind of kitchen utensil are you? Or something that's in the kitchen, what are you? Right? So people had a second to think and come up with creative ideas. You know, I'm the Easy Bake Oven, or I'm a NutriBullet, or the Ninja Food Chopper, or whatever. And so people were thinking about their personalities. What am I? What am I? And it got to me, and I looked around as the only straight, white, cisgendered Christian male in the whole group of 50 people maybe. And I said, I am a kitchen knife, a sharp knife, the kind that you get professionally sharpened. People are like, oh, that's interesting. Then you have to explain why. I said, because I can do things that no one else can do. My purpose is different from lots of other tools. And if I am not very careful, I could really hurt someone. And I think we all sometimes feel that way with our responsibilities to one another. We are all capable of many things, and we can also really hurt someone. And it's different for me because of what I look like, because of my job. I get the privilege of standing here and speaking to all these people. And that's something I'm very mindful of. And one of my first rules of ministry is to do no harm, to try to be a healer and not someone who causes further hurt, especially in Unitarian Universalist congregations where so many of us come through the doors with wounds, with religious trauma, with hurts. We don't know if we'll be accepted based on how we believe or don't believe. We don't know if we'll be welcomed based on who we love or how we identify. I take that really seriously. So I'm going to tell you a story about my transformation. And it involves politics in Texas and the Middle East. It involves hurt. It involves pain. And if you're feeling a sense of conflict while I'm talking, I'm begging you to stay with us, to stay with me, to see if we come through this on the other side in a different place. Because I know that I could hurt someone. And that's part of the story. Of all the first-year ministers who were there, many of them have taken to social media and expressed in their congregations support for the people of Palestine and expressed strong feelings. I have not. And here's the story. When I was a senior in seminary, which is a thing, I was selected to go to Israel with a group of my seminary students, friends. We were the people studying to be ministers. We met with a group who was studying to be rabbis and a group who was imams, who were studying to be imams in Ramallah. And I felt what a wonderful sense of community and love that emanated from these folks. And it was all about building bridges between the people of different faith traditions, to see one another, to hear one another, to talk about what we were experiencing, feeling, to find not only common ground, but common purpose. Because the idea was, how does peace come out of this? How do we root this in peace? How do we root this in healing? And I've taken that lesson with me wherever I've gone. Of the people I met, Jewish, Christian, Muslim. And when I brought it here, I wondered if that would ever serve me. In a not explicitly Christian or Muslim or Jewish situation, but with lots of us who are kind of, a little bit of one, a little bit of other, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. So in October, Hamas terrorists attack Israel and Israeli settlers. And my first reaction was shock and disbelief that the violence was so bad, that the hatred was so much, and disbelief that the media channels that I was viewing, I could not tell, because so much work has been done to destabilize truth-telling, if what I was actually seeing was actually true, regardless of what side it seemed to support. I had no idea of knowing what was real. And journalists that I have followed for other sources of information, especially about what's going on in Texas, they seem to not know what in the hell was going on. And hell is the word that keeps being lifted up for the kind of hatred and war that we're seeing. Some of the descriptions from my tradition, what is termed as hell, involves fire and flames. And to see pictures of my hometown, my home state, my home, with all of its other problems, with all the things that I don't agree with all the ways that it causes hurt, to see more hurt piled on, to see more fire thrown into the flames. But most of all, I was scared. Because my job is to speak about hard things. And I didn't know what to say. Because when I looked around at my social media feeds and talked to my friends, there was not one feeling or answer. It was not clear-cut in my spaces like it was for the 2016 election or the 2020 election. It wasn't clear who I would be standing alongside like it is when we speak out about anti-trans policies in Texas. All I saw was hurt and fear and anger. And for a group of UU ministers to have so much pain, for those who grew up Jewish, such deep pain. For the people of color, for my Muslim, and South Asian, and Middle Eastern friends, so much pain. And oftentimes, what the world needs least is another white guy to stand up and say something. And in having conversations, to not say anything was also hurtful. And I was mindful of the faces and people in this room. It is my job to care for and to love. And I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what message to bring. And to be quite honest, I still don't. Because I know that whatever I might say today might cause more hurt. And I'm trying to be okay with that. Because what I want is for us to have some discomfort, but not hurt. To have some conflict, but not war. And to try and fight these fires together. So that's a long way of talking about conflict. There's the conflict between the Israeli government and the Palestinian people. There's the conflict between the government of Texas and all of its non-white, non-straight people. There's the conflict between fire and water in my home. We had a community conversation last week, I think just last week, goodness. And there was lots of energy in asking the congregation to support a ceasefire resolution in the Middle East. That's not a decision that I can make. It's not a decision that the board can make. It's a decision the congregation should make. And what I was mindful of is that we didn't have all the voices in the room. And that it's never a good practice to make a decision without hearing all the voices. And worse, it's dangerous to make a decision by intentionally not listening to the voices. to avoid that conflict in the spirit of keeping the peace, not rocking the boat, not wanting to offend someone, can be admirable, but it's not a path towards growth. It's a path towards safety, towards comfort, but it's not a path towards growth. What has pushed me to share this story and to speak more about it and to open up our hearts to this is because I can't stop crying. I am deeply in conflict about what to say, about how to show support for my friends, Jewish, Muslim, Arab, Christian, for my colleagues, for our people, when there are so many other things going on as well that take my attention, including little boys that headbutt their little sisters. I'm in conflict, and I'm desperately in need of transformation, of restoration. And I wonder if I should have spoken up earlier, if I should have spoken up on behalf of one side or the other, should have used the power and the privilege, my special slicing edge, the tool that only I can do, or that I can do differently than others, to speak out. And I worry that I would hurt someone, because when I looked around, all I saw was hurt. So I've been on the other side of the occupation wall in Israel. I've been shot at by Palestinian guns. I have been in the midst of a very large fist fight in inner Jerusalem between Jewish and Muslim people. And I've seen 18-year-old Israeli soldiers taking selfies in front of the Western Wall in Jerusalem on their first tour because they're 18. And in a place that is supposed to be so special to so many people, to see it described as hell is really hard. So more than calling for ceasefire, which is what I want to do, more than calling for just an end to anti-Semitism and Islamophobia and violence, which I hope we can all agree on, is to also talk about the deep systems that are at play here. To talk about the ways in which trauma is passed on generationally, and if that trauma is not dealt with, it is blown out into the world. That when healing does not happen, when it is just pushed down, when there is no conflict that brings that trauma to the surface in safe and loving ways so it can be dealt with, the word we often use is metabolized, that trauma gets transmitted. It can either be transformed or transmitted. Richard Rohr, a great theologian, says, your pain, your trauma can be either transformed or transmitted. Many of our siblings in the Senate and the House, the House of Representatives, are great at transmitting trauma, especially to people who do not look like me. So what I'm inviting us to do is not to what I'm inviting us to do is to have conversations with each other that are about conflict. The conflict in Gaza and the conflict here. Being gentle with each other and trying to start from this place not only of not wanting to do harm, but this place of deep love for each other. and knowing that there's not a good answer to how to solve the problems in the Middle East, to solve the problems here in Philadelphia, solve the problems in my house, right? That's hard. So I want you to know that I felt conflicted. And to condemn Hamas, to condemn the Netanyahu administration, doesn't feel like enough. To talk about occupation and colonialism and racism and anti-Semitism and how it's all wound up in whiteness, doesn't feel like we have enough time, especially just on today. So I guess where I'm starting from is a place of heartbrokenness. And what I invite you into that space is heartbrokenness, is grief, is loss, is lament. So that if we start to have arguments about who is right and who is wrong, about which side to support, about which evil is worse, which loss is worse, I hope that we start from a common place of love and grief. Because I felt conflicted. I felt heartbroken. I want a ceasefire. I want hostages returned. I want everyone to be able to thrive and be who they're called to be. And because I'm a universalist, I want an end to hell. And it is my friends and my colleagues, especially my black and brown friends and colleagues, who have pushed me into conflict and loving conflict and helped me change, helped me get over my fear of saying anything, saying just say your truth. You don't have to have the right answer. And my worry is that it's too late, or that this is not a strong enough statement in support of one side or the other. It may be too late. And I have to own that. But rather than just all I can do is say I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not speaking up. I'm sorry for saying words that cause hurt. But I want you to know that I love each and every one of you. If you're thinking about coming and joining us, I will love you too. Because that is a thing that I can do. So I'm asking your forgiveness. And I'm inviting us in to that space of grief for conflict. Not with the intention of causing harm, not with the intention of proving who is right and who is wrong, but with the intention of living into our deepest held values. Who are we called to be in this moment? How are we called to love one another? And how might that conflict that is out there and is in here, how might that produce some kind of transformation? Even if all it does is make us cry. May those tears be like rain to quench the fires from all of the American-made bombs and missiles, the fires that our tax dollars support, and the fires that threaten the livelihood of people who do not vote like I do, who do not think like I do, but who are nevertheless beloved and capable of transformation. And the only thing that can produce that transformation is love. That's what I'm inviting us to. Love that transforms. May it be so. Can we just sit for a second? Gracious God, God of love, God of rain, may that love rain down to quench the fires of hatred and quench the fires of flame. May the return of hostages to their families be swift. May the end to the bombs be soon. May all the walls that divide us come down. May the land that is holy and good help people thrive. May it be so.
We forgive ourselves and each other, and we begin again in love. Now is the time when we take up our offering of financial resources for the good of this community. Ushers, you can go ahead and start passing the plates. Here in the sanctuary, we know that there are many ways to give back to this congregation, and we encourage you to find a way that works for you. For giving of financial support, your money or checks put in the plate will be used to fund the ministries of this church. And any pocket change or other money that you designate change for change, online or by putting them in the white envelopes in the pews, will be sent to this month's selected Change for Change organization, Heeding God's Call. More info is on the screen about how to give, and please know that if this is your first time with us, there's no expectation that you give anything other than a yellow or a pink card or a white one, a contact form, or letting us know how you found us and how we can support you. The offering will now be gratefully received. Let's take a moment to breathe again. What a moving morning it has been. We are truly blessed. As we get ready to extinguish our chalice and end our time together, please remember to stick around for coffee hour to connect with one another here and on Zoom. For more info on what's happening in the life of this congregation, you can check out the weekly newsletter that comes out on Thursdays for worship schedules and events, and you can check out our website for more important updates. There are two announcements that I'd like to share this morning. One is that the board is meeting today at 12:45 in Hale Lounge, and the other is that Julie Bradbird's memorial will be held here at 11 a.m. on March 16th. Let us breathe into this moment.
Thank you, Shay. Thank you, Jane and Jim and the choir, for helping lead us today. The words to extinguish our chalice are from a South African song. It was a song that political prisoners would sing to one another as they were being taken off to be interrogated, perhaps tortured, or even killed. It's a song that we have sung at General Assembly here in the UA, and we've sung it many times here, but we're just going to say the words because I need to hear them today. Would you read these words along with me as we extinguish our chalice? Courage, my friend, you do not walk alone. We will walk with you and sing your spirit home. Our closing hymn is number 1017, Building a New Way. I invite us to rise if we are willing and able and sing this closing hymn together. Thank you, friends. May we go in love and in peace, to be love and peace in a world that is so desperately in need of more love and more peace. May it be so. Amen. We will see you next week, friends.
I am resilient, I trust the movement, I negate the chaos, uplift the negative. I'll show up at the table again and again and again. I'll close my mouth and learn to listen. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. 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 These times are poignant, the winds have shifted. It's That's all we can do to stay uplifted. Pipelines through backyards, wolves howling out front. Yeah, I got my crew, but truth is what I want. Realigned and on point, power to the peaceful, prayers to the waters, women at the center, all vessels open to give and receive. Let's see the system brought down to its knees. Whoa, 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 ooh, 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 whoa, 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 ooh, 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 ooh. I'm made of thunder, I'm made of lightning, I'm made of dirt, yeah, made of the fine things. My father taught me that I'm a speck of dust and this world was made for me. So let's go and try our luck, say I've got my roots down, 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 down deep. I've got my roots down, 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 down deep. I've got my roots down, down, down deep. I've got my roots down, down, down deep. So what are we doing here? What has been done? What are you gonna do about it when the world comes undone? My voice feels tiny, and I'm sure so does yours. Put us all together, make a mighty trust the movement. I negate the chaos, uplift the negative. I'll show up at the table again and again and again. I'll close my mouth and learn to